Okay guys, so today we are going to build this beautiful homepage here using a multitude of widgets from the Plus add-ons for Elementor, and all of this using the new Elementor Flexbox container. So first we'll create our menu, which is a mega menu as you can see. Then we'll have our hero section with some cascading images. Underneath, we'll add some scrolling brand logos, which can scroll left to right or right to left. And then some lovely interactive tabs with image slider by the side, which are connected together, of course. Then two dynamic devices. And when you hover on top of these, they reveal the content, which has a nice scrolling effect as well. And then we'll add an image with a few hotspots and info pins. Then some info boxes and a before and after image. We are also going to build a dynamic listing, insert some Google reviews, and finally our footer section. Okay, so this will take just about an hour to complete, so for maximum benefit we highly encourage you to watch till the end in one sitting. And if you like this type of content, don't forget to like, subscribe and share with all your friends and Facebook communities. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, very good. So before we start designing our page, make sure that you have the Flexbox container enabled. Okay, so for this we go to Elementor, Settings, you go to Experiments, scroll down the page, and there you have it. You have Flexbox container. Make sure that this one is active, and then scroll down the page and save your changes. And that's it. Now we're ready to go. Very good. So now we can create our page. So we go to Pages. As you can see, I have no pages at the moment. So we're going to create our home page. Okay, so let's add new. So let's give it a title, perhaps home. So we can publish, and then edit with Elementor. And there you go. As you can see, now we have a blank canvas here and we can start designing our home page. So let's have a quick look at our design. So we're going to start with the very first section here, our header with the menu section. So we have the logo, a mega menu, and our call to action button. So let's get started with this. So let's go back here. So we're going to click on the plus sign here, and then we have to select our structure. As you can see, we have the choice among a few different options here. So this one is columns, this one is rows, and this is the one that we're going to select because our menu goes from left to right. As you can see, the elements are added like this, okay, from the left to the right. Okay, so let's select this one here. So let's click on this. And from here, we make sure to select the direction and the align item as well. As you can see the direction here, we're going to select horizontal. Make sure to select horizontal again because we're going to go from the left to the right. And then the align items here, we have start, center, and stretch. So how do you know which one to select? Well, if you looked at the image itself, the illustration, as you can see, start, it will align all the items on top. If you select center, if they are different height, they will still be centered as if there's a line going through them. This one is end, that means it's centered at the bottom of the section. And this one stretch, it will stretch all the items to be the same height. So in our case here for our menu, obviously we're going to select center. Okay, so we click center. And then let's go back to our design. As you can see, we have a bit of spacing on the left and on the right, which means that this content is boxed. So this is the one here. So just make sure you select content with boxed as well. Now let's go and change the background color of our container here. So we go to style and we have background here. So this is a classic background. We're going to select a single color. Now, since we are going to reuse this color throughout the whole designing process, we might as well save it as part of our default colors. So let's click on this, the small gear now. And there you go. So from here, we can add a custom color. So let's click on this. Let's select our black shade. So maybe this one here. And let's give it a name. So perhaps black background. Okay. So now this is part of our default colors. Let's click update. And now we can close this. And now we can select our default background that we just created. So if you click on this default, there you go. Now we have black background. And again, this is going to save us a lot of time since we are going to reuse this color throughout the whole designing process. And now we can start adding our different elements. So let's go back to our main menu here. And as you can see on top, we have the layout that says container. This is what we're going to use. Okay, so we're going to add 3 different containers because we have the logo, the menu section, and we also have our call to action button. So let's add the first one. There you go. So we keep adding more as manually, or you can just right click on this and duplicate. All the same, works the same way, you know. So let's duplicate this again. And as you can see, now we have 3 different containers side by side from the left to the right, okay? And now we can start adding our different widgets within those different containers. So let's go back to our main menu here and let's search for the first one, which is our logo. So as you can see, we presented with two different options, but again, we're going to use solely widgets from the plus add-ons for Elementor. So how can you identify them? It's very easy. As you can see, we have two initials here, TP, that stands for the plus add-ons, okay? So let's use this one and drag and drop it here. And as you can see, this is our site logo. So now we can select the image itself. So choose image. So we've already uploaded the image. So we're just going to select it here. So let's scroll down the page. This is our logo, insert media. Now, obviously, when we added our different containers, they were divided equally in three different sections here. So we have 33%, 33%, and 33% of the full width. So now we can resize this. Obviously, as you can see, the logo is way smaller than the container itself. So all you have to do is just hover on top here, and then you can drag and drop it until you are roughly at the right size, okay? So let's go maybe at 12%, right there. This is just perfect now. And now we can add our menu section in the middle. Again, before we start, we might resize this slightly. So you just grab it and then change the size to roughly where you want it to be. So let's try maybe 65%. And let's go back to our widget and let's search for menu. There you go. Again, we have all these different options, but we're going to use only widgets from the plus add-ons today. So which one should you choose? As you can see, we have a few of them here. This is the one here. This one is called navigation menu. So just grab and drop. There you go. So what type of menu is this? So is it default menu or repeater? So what's the difference between those two? Well, a default menu will allow you to select any menu that's created within WordPress. Whereas if you select repeater, then we can add any elements to the menu as we want. And since this is a mega menu, this is the option that we need to select. So make sure you select repeater here. So our menu direction is horizontal. As you can see here, clearly this is horizontal. And now we can start adding our different elements of home, company, contact, resources, and pricing. So let's create this together. As you can see, these are our different levels here. So level 0. So if you click on this, as you can see, you have the link and the menu text as well. So this is where we're going to type home. Okay. And instead of the hashtag here, so this is where you're going to insert the link to the actual page where you want your visitors to be redirected to. Okay. So we're just going to keep hashtag for ourselves here for now. Okay. So this is one. So let's keep adding another one. So add item. So this one is called company. And we do the same with the others. So there you go. We've added our 5 different levels. Now we need to change this. As you can see, we can't really read what's written there. You can see if you hover on top, but slightly the default colors will show. But to make it easy on us, let's change the colors right now. So for this, we go to style. And let me close this. As you can see, you have main menu, sub menu, description, mobile menu, and so on. So what we need to select here is the main menu because this is our main menu section. And we're going to change the color. So this is the normal color here. And you have in normal mode, hover mode, and active mode. As you can see, if I hover, the color will change, and then you can have the active mode color as well. So the normal color here, let's select a white perhaps, or let's change this slightly. Now we can read what's written there, you know. And if you hover on top, as you can see, we have a red color at the moment. We don't want red, we might want a different color. So we're going to hover here, and let's change this maybe to the same blue that we have as part of our logo here. So let's click on our color here. So we're going to select the eyedropper here to select our color. Let's select this. And as you can see, this is the blue. So let's select this one. And there it is now. So now we copy this, Control C, and we're going to add this to the icon color as well. Okay. There you go. And now we have blue. So if you hover on top, as you can see now, this is matching our logo colors, which is perfect. And then we can do the same in active mode as well. So let's go and change this to our blue color for both of these options. There you go. So now let's go back to our layout. As you can see, this is the home page, company. So under company, this is a mega menu. So let me show you how you can create this section now. So we go back here and let's go back to our main content. Okay, so let's add that level under the company tab here. So as you can see, this is the one here. This is our company tab. Now what we need to do is to add an extra level just underneath it. So level 0 is the main structure, and then level 1 will be the sub menu if you wish. Okay, so let's add an item. So we click on this, there it is. And now we're going to select our level. So as you can see, I have different levels here. So this is menu, sub-menu, okay? So level 1. And what type of menu, sub-menu is this? So is this a link or a mega menu? So in our case, this will be a mega menu. And then you can select your template, what you're going to display basically, okay? And as you can see, we haven't saved any template yet. So what we need to do before we can insert it here is to actually create our template. So we're going to update here at the moment, and then we go back to our WordPress dashboard. So from here, we're going to create our template. So we go to Elementor, templates. From here, we're going to add a new one. So create a new one altogether. What sort of template is this? This will be a section, and then we give it a name now. So let's say, for instance, company mega menu, and then create template. So by default, Elementor is going to present you with all these different options. We can close this because we're going to design it from scratch again. And there you go. So this is basically our canvas now where we can design our mega menu. Now, as you can see, by default, Elementor is going to fetch the header and the footer that comes by default with your theme. Don't worry about that. We're just going to design this in the middle. And when we insert this into our Elementor page, it will only show the content here. Okay. So let's recreate this. Okay. So we have company here on top. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different links with an icon next to it and then an image underneath it. Okay, so let's add our first structure. So let's click on this and we're going to select left to right. There you go. And now we're going to insert our icons with links next to it. So these are called styles. There you go, style list. Okay, so again, it's from the plus add-on. So drag and drop. Very good. So as you can see, we have 3 of them at the moment, list 1, list 2, list 3. So we only need 1 at the moment. So we're just going to delete those 2. Okay, so let's add the icon and change the text. So this one is called blog with a cube next to it. Okay, so let's do this. So this is called blog, and let's change our icon here. And I think this one is called cube. There it is. Okay, very good. Perfect. So now we have this right. And as you can see, the font is too small and the color as well of our icon is not right. So we need to change this as well. So now we go into style. Okay, so first we're going to add a little bit of padding all around it, a bit of breathing space, you know. So let's try maybe 10 or 5 perhaps. 10 is perfect. There you go. So now we need to change the color of our icon and the size as well and the content option. So those 2 here. So let's open the icon. So first let's change the color and let's select our black. Very good. And the size, we're going to try this like this manually, you know. So let's try maybe 20. There you go. 20 would be fine. And I think the font is probably the same as well. So this time we go to content option and let's change our color here. Let's select our black. And now let's go and change our font. So we go to typography. So we could select perhaps Roboto, which is a very common one, you know. Let's select this one. The size, we're going to select 20 as well, and we're going to make it a little bit thicker, maybe 500, just like that. So I think this is roughly the same. It should be normally. That's it. That's perfect. Yeah. So we have our first link with icon, and now we are going to duplicate it. Okay. So we'll have 3 of them side by side here. So duplicate, and then we can edit and change each one of them. Okay. So duplicate. There it is. And now we are going to align them within our container here. So let's click on our container and we go justify content. So we have the choice among a few different options. So let's try them out. So we have this one here. So this is space between, space around, and then evenly spaced. So the one we need is space around because we need a bit of spacing on each side and then in between them. So this equally evenly distributed now. And now that our first section is in place, we can duplicate this one as well because we had 2 rows, remember? So right click on it, duplicate. And now we have our 6 different menu items here. As you can see, that's perfect. Now there's a bit too much spacing in between, you know, so let's click on this. We're going to advance and we're going to remove the padding all around. There you go. We'll do the same with the margin. That's perfect. And let's do the same with this one. So remove the padding all around it and the same with the margin. And now they're close to each other, which is perfect. So now that we have this, we can start editing each and every one of them. So if we click on this, open it, now you can change the content. And also add the link to the page where you want to send this link, obviously, you know. So I'm just going to put a hashtag for now, okay, just like this. But obviously you will replace this with the landing page where you want this to go. And then we can do the same with the other items. So I'll do that very quickly now. So there you go, something like this. Now we have all the links with the icons next to it and they're all clickable, obviously, you know. So now let's add our image here underneath. So we add a new section and this one could be in that direction. This is fine. And now we are going to insert our image. So we go back to our widget here. We look for an image, okay. And as always, we're going to use a widget from the plus add-ons. And we have one that's fantastic. Is this one here? That's creative image. So let's drag and drop it here. So we're going to use this one so I can show you all the different options available with this one. It's a much more powerful widget for images than the other ones, you know. So creative image, or you can have a scroll reveal image as well. And if you go into the styling options, you will see you have everything here, you know, like super parallax, mouse parallax, magic scroll, tooltip as well, and tilt 3D parallax. So all of these are options available immediately from this widget, which is again much more powerful than the one that's built in Elementor. So now we're going to add our image here. So let's click on this. And we're going to select it from our image library here. And I think this one is called image 24. This is the one here. So let's insert this. Very good. And now we need to center this. Okay, so let's center the image in the middle. There it is. And let's have a quick look here how it looks like. Okay, so we need to add a little bit of spacing here on top. So let's do this. So we click on our section, advanced, and let's add a little bit of padding on top. So perhaps let's try 50. There you go. Maybe 75. That's perfect. This is the same size, okay? And now we're done with our design basically here, okay? So we have our template done. So we can click update. And now we can go back to our homepage and insert the template in our menu section. So remember we had level 1 here, level 1 mega menu, and now we can select the template. So let's go ahead with this. As you can see, company mega menu. So there you go. And now we need to place this underneath the company tab. So now we're going to drag this and move it right there, just underneath that one, okay? And let's put this to the test. So if we hover on home, there's nothing, and then company, and there you go. As you can see, this is revealing the content of our template, and now we have a mega menu. So this is how this works for any of those items. So we're not going to go through all of them, obviously. This is just to show you how this works. So we have item number 1 here, the company, but you can do the same and use the same principle basically for the other different tabs on your menu section as well. And then you can repeat the exact same process for any of the other tabs. Now let's add our call to action button. So let's go back to our elements here. Let's look for button. And again, we're going to select one from the plus add-ons, which is this one here. So TP button, drag and drop. So we can choose among 23 different styles. So we're going to go with style number 10 for this one, okay? So let's change the text. So this one is called get demo. And then obviously you'll put the link to that page here, okay? Very good. So now let's go to style and change a few of those settings. So we're going to keep the padding here, 15 on top and bottom and 30 on the left and the right, which is absolutely fine. We're just going to change the colors in hover mode and in the normal mode as well. So in normal mode, we want it to be transparent with the border. So for this, we're going to go to color. So we have background color here. We're going to select this. And for that, we're going to select almost transparent. There you go, just like this. The text color, it will be white so that we can read the text. Very good. And then we're going to add a solid border and we're going to select the color white as well for this one. There you go. So as you can see now, this is done. And now let's select in hover mode. So in hover mode, it'll be white with a black font. So that's the other way around. Okay, so text in hover mode will be black. Very good. And then we have the background color, in which case this will be white. Okay. And then we don't have any border. So let's put this to the test. And there it is. So this is working absolutely fine. And one last thing, let's go and have a look at this one. As you can see, when you hover on top, there's an action like a movement going up a little bit, you know. This is very nice. So we can add this here as well. And for this, we're going to special. And as you can see, I have the button hover effect, and this one is called float. And as you can see now, we have that floating effect. So this is done now. So we can click update. So we're done with the menu section. Let's design our hero section here underneath. So let's have a quick recap. So this is heading, subheading, call to action button, and all these animated images. So let's go ahead with this. So let's add a new one. So this one will be in this direction. Very good. So we're going to add 2 containers, one on the left, one on the right, and we can simply duplicate this one. Very good. So now we have our 2 different sections. So we're going to add our black background first, just to be sure. So we go to style, background color. Let's select our black background. There it is. So this is step number 1. And now we can start adding our different widgets. Okay, so on this side, we have the heading, subheading, and a call to action button. So clearly those widgets are designed in this way, so top to bottom. So we're going to select the direction here. So let's click on this and let's select our direction. So this is column vertical. Let's click on this. And now we can start adding our different elements. So let's click on this. So this is a heading. And for this, we're going to use the plus add-ons again. So this is the one here, heading title. So I'm just going to paste those two headings because this is pretty self-explanatory. So there you go. It's very simple. Basically, all you have to do is just type in the content and just stylize the font and the thickness and the color of the font here. That's basically it. And then we have this button here. So this is the same button roughly as the one here on top. So what we're going to do again, I'm just going to paste it here. It's going to be easier. Okay, very good. So let's take care of the most important section here, which is our animated images here. So let's create this together now. So let's go back to our elements and let's look for image cascading. So there it is again from the plus add-on. So drag and drop. And basically how this widget works is by adding as many images as we want, and then we can position them specifically at the different location on this section here. Okay, so let's click on the very first one. So normally from here we should add our background image. As you can see here, we have that blue background to define the depth of our image here. So we're going to add this first. So let's click on this. And we have it here. So let's select this one, insert media. And as you can see, it's centered here in the middle, but obviously we want this to take the full width all together here, the whole background. So we have those settings here, as you can see, layer position and also width and everything, you know, so we can play around with this. So this is most likely 550, maybe 600 pixels. So as you can see, you can set this up on desktop, tablet and mobile. So since we are on a desktop PC here, we're just going to set this one up together just to show you how it works. But bear in mind, you can also do this on tablet and mobile and make sure that it is placed properly on all these devices. So let's try maybe here. I'm just going to put 750 just for now, just to be sure, you know. There you go. Now the position, obviously we need to change this. As you can see there we have 40 and here 20. So if you remove that all together, those two, so as you can see now this is taking up the whole background, which is perfect. And now we can start adding our other images. Okay, so let's close this one. Let's add a new item. So add item. Very good. So this is a second image. So this time let's add the big mobile phone here in the middle. Let's start with this one. Okay. So let's scroll down, add image. So from here we select our mobile phone, insert media. Now it's a little bit too small, so we can resize this. So let's change the width to maybe 430. There you go. This is the perfect size. Now we need to change the location more in the middle, as you can see. Okay. So let's do this. So basically first you will position your item. So layer position, you use this feature here. And then after this, you can add all the different effects and tweak things around. So as you can see, if you go back here, this is moving up and down. As you can see, I have some sort of animation, and now we can take care of this. Okay. So if you scroll down the page, and the first extra option we're going to enable is the continuous effect here, as you can see. So let's select floating. And you will see now that mobile phone will start moving up and down. So there you go. So this is our animation. And now let me show you from here. We also have another effect. So if you scroll down the page, as you can see, it's like the images are moving towards you slowly. As you can see, there's a slight movement towards ourselves, you know. So now we can do this as well. So this is called magic scroll. So if you enable this, as you can see, you have the initial position and the final position. Okay. So first we need to define the speed. So we have the scroll option. So 300, this is fine, but you can play around and test a few different features. You can try 250, maybe 600. So it will slow down or speed up the process basically. Okay. So now we need to set the initial position. So let's click on this. So for the initial position, we can leave it as is. So it's going to start from where it is at the moment. And then we need to set the final position. So let's click on this one here. So first we have the scale value here. So a value of 1 is the actual size of the image. Now 1.5 would zoom in and 0.5 would zoom out. So it would be smaller. So let's go maybe 1.2, not too big, not too small. And let's change the vertical value to -100 as we zoom in. So that's basically it, you know, and then you can change the opacity if you wanted to. So feel free to play around with those different settings here. And now let's put this to the test. So I'm going to scroll down the page and pay attention to the mobile phone here. You will see it's like it's coming towards you, okay? So there you go. As you can see, the image is slightly bigger by 1.2 instead of 1. And this is enough to make it look like it's getting closer to you. So this is basically how this works. And now you can reproduce the same with all the other images. So you can add those small ones like we have here, you know. And as we scroll down, as you can see, there's again an effect, you know, like they're getting closer to you, zoomed in and zoomed out. So you can basically reproduce the same principle with all the other images. Now we don't want this video to drag for too long. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to import those images immediately here. So there you go, you know, something like this. As you can see now, we have 6 different images. And again, it's the same principle. You know, what I showed you with the mobile phone, you can reproduce the same thing with all the different images. Now let's have a quick look here. So as you can see, we need the background here to be a bit slanted at the bottom, and we need to add a bit of spacing on top. So let's take care of this. So now we're going to click on our main section here. There you go. Now we go to advanced. And let's add a bit of padding on top, you know, so we can unlink this. And then on top, let's start with 50 perhaps. Okay, so 50, that's maybe not enough. So let's try 75 instead. Very good. And now we need to add more at the bottom because it doesn't cover the mobile phone and all that. So let's start with 200 and see how this goes. So this is fine. Yes. Okay. And now we need to have the bottom a bit slanted. So how does this work? For this, we go to style. As you can see, I have all these options. So this one is called a shape divider. So let's click on this. Where will it be? At the bottom of our section. And what type is this? So this is a tilt. So we're going to add a little bit more spacing now at the bottom. So let's try perhaps 250. And there you go. Exactly the same now. So now we can save this section. And let's carry on with our design. Next, we have this section here. So as you can see with those sliding images. So let's go ahead with that. So let's scroll down the page. Let's add our new structure. So this one will be in this direction. And let's insert our first widget. So this is a heading again. There you go. So this is heading title from the plus add-ons. Let's add this here. So as you can see with the plus add-ons, you have the heading title and then the subtitle as well. So let me paste this here. And the other one says over 1 million, I believe. So this is one of the nice thing with the plus add-ons, you know, it's immediately there. You don't have to add 2 heading and then put them close together. It's immediately there. You have heading, subheading, all at once. Easy to do, you know. Okay, so by default, it will add a postfix, so we don't need this. So just you can remove this altogether here because we don't need that. So this is another option that might be convenient to you, you know. And now let's change the size of our font. So we need to make the over 1 million much bigger than this. So we go into typography and then let's change the size. So let's make this quite big. So perhaps like this. Very good. And then we can do the same with the one underneath. So the subtitle. So we go to this section here. So a little bit smaller, maybe like this. Okay. And then we're going to change the font weight as well. Maybe thinner, maybe 300. There you go. So this is just about perfect. Let's double check. Yeah, that looks roughly the same. You know, this is fine. So we can keep it this way. And then underneath, we're going to add all our different icons now. And for this, we're going to use the gallery listing widget. So let's have a look for this. So let's type gallery here. And there it is again from the plus add-on. So drag and drop just underneath. So let's select our layout. So we can select among a few different styles, but the one we're going to select for this is style 1. This is going to be a carousel. And now we can add the content. So all the different images. Okay. So from here, all we have to do is to click on this button and we can multi-select all our different images. So as you can see, they're all here. So we're going to select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 images all at once. And now let's create a new gallery. And then insert gallery. And as you can see, all our icons are displaying now, which is fine. So they're clearly too big. And then we also need to add a bit of spacing in between them. So for this, we go to style. So let's close this. And we have the carousel options here. So this is what we need to set this up. Okay. So first, what slider mode is it? Horizontal or vertical? So clearly for us, it will be horizontal. And then you have the animation and animation type. So with hold, this is what we need basically. Okay, so basically if we go back here, if you grab this, you can move it left to right and so on by holding it. So this is fine. And then scroll down the page. So as you can see, those images again are way too big because you only have 4 of them across. So let's change this to 8 columns instead. So there you go. That looks a lot better immediately. And now we need to add a bit of spacing in between those icons. So this is the slide padding we're going to use. So unlink the value. And we're going to add 10 to the right and 10 to the left. And then we have a few more options here underneath. So we have draggable. Yes, multi-drag. We're going to leave this off. Infinite loop. And then we have pause on hover. Enable this and then let's scroll down. So autoplay, this is fine. 3000 milliseconds. So that's 3 seconds. Show the dots as you can see here at the bottom. No, we don't want them. So off. Perfect. And then we have the center mode. So we will need this. So let's enable that. So what does that mean, center mode? So let's go to the demo site. So if I grab it manually myself, it will recenter those icons automatically one way or the other. Okay, so that's basically what this is for. So let's select our center slide effect. So you can select among two different options, scale and shadow. So in our case, we're going to select scale, and we can change those settings slightly. So we're going to put 1 and 1 everywhere throughout. And as you can see, they zoomed in a little bit more. There you go. So that looks absolutely fantastic now. Now we need to take care of a few things again. As you can see, if you hover on top, you have a small magnifying glass that's showing up here on top of each image. So we need to disable this. So we go to pop-up icon. So disable that altogether. And now if we hover on top, as you can see, the name of the image is showing up. So this is the title. So we need to remove this. So we go to title, and as you can see, we're going to go into hover mode and normal mode, and we're going to select a color here that's fully transparent, just like this in normal mode and hover mode, just like this. Okay. And now if we put this to the test, as you can see, there is nothing anymore displaying. Perfect. And now we need to remove that grayish background, as you can see when we hover on top. And this is the content background. And again, we're going to change the color here. So we're going to go from this shade to that shade. And there you go. Now this is all gone. And so this is perfect now. So let's put this to the test very quickly. Let's have a quick preview. So if you scroll down the page, very good. So this is there. This is fine. As you can see, this should be normally full width as our demo here. So let's take care of this. As you can see at the moment, it is boxed. So for this, we're going to click on our main section here. So this is the one here. This is our main structure. So let's click on this, and in content width, instead of boxed, let's select full width. There you go. And now let's have a quick preview again. There you go. And if we scroll down the page, there it is. As you can see, we have everything here, and we can slide left or right, and it will recenter all these icons automatically. So this section is done. Have a look at our demo side. So on this side here, we have heading, subheading, and accordion tabs. And right here, connected to those tabs, we have those images. So as you can see, if I click on this, they'll move right up to the actual section. Okay, so let's go ahead with this now. So we go back here, let's create our structure. So 2 columns. So first we have our heading and subheading. So that's pretty self-explanatory. So we're just going to skip on this. I'll do that quickly. So there you go. So basically this one here is a heading, and this one is TP text block. So this is just to type text. Okay. So then now we're going to add our tabs underneath. So tabs and tours. Again, this is from the Plus add-ons. This one here. So drag and drop. Perfect. So by default, as you can see, we have tab 1, tab 2, but we need 3 of them. Okay. So we have startup, and then work in progress, end of section. So let's recreate this. So as you can see, tab 1. So let's open this one first. So as you can see, by default, this widget will add a bit of content here and create the title for us. So we don't need the content here. All we need is just the title. So we're going to delete this, and we're going to type our own title here. So this one is called Startup, the very first one. And then we need to scroll down the options a bit here. And as you can see, we have Show Inner Icon. We don't need an icon. All we need is just the text. So disable this. So there you go. This one is sorted. And now we can close this. And to save us time, what we're going to do is just delete this one, and we're going to duplicate this one 2 more times. Okay, there you go. And now all we have to do is just change the title for each one of them. So this one is work in progress, and the other one is end section. There you go. Now we have our 3 different tabs created. Next, we go down to our layout. And as you can see here, it's horizontal. It should be vertical. And let's have a quick look at the initial one. As you can see here, we have different colors, background, rounded edges, and also a progress bar. So let's take care of the design now and the styling of that section. So we go to style. So first, we're going to add the background color here, because that's where it all starts. You know, as you can see, you have all these different options. And this one here says tab title bar background. So this is the one that we need. Click on this, scroll down the page, and now we can assign a color in normal mode and active mode. So let's add a color. So which color should we assign to which section? So let's have a quick look here. So the active one is a dark background, and the rest is gray. Okay, so let's start with the active one. So we're going to select the color here. So let's select our black. There you go. This is for the active one. And in normal mode, we're going to select a gray, a shade of gray, maybe this one here, a light gray. And now we need to round all these corners, as you can see, with box border. So enable this. We're going to change this to 0. We don't need any border, actual border, you know, but we're going to change the border radius and set this to maybe 10. There you go. This is perfect. So this is everything done for our background. And now let's configure the font color, and also the width of our item. So we go here, close this, and now we go to tab title bar. And to change our width, we have those two sliders here. So we're going to both select %. So navigation title width, we're going to set this up to 100%. And this one here, the navigation width, maybe to 85. There you go. As you can see, it's taking almost the full width. Now we can change the font as well. So as we scroll down, as you can see, we can change the font color in normal mode and active mode. So obviously not in active mode, as you can see at the moment, is blue on black. So we can't really read this. We're going to select white. There you go. And then you can do the same in normal mode and change your color. So you could select, for instance, jet black, and there you go. Now we need also to take care of our font. So we go to typography and change the size. Perhaps let's try maybe 18. Yeah, that's perfect. So we are almost there now. So let's go back to our demo site. And as you can see, we have a progress bar here for each one of them. Okay, so let's insert this as well. So now we go back to content. This time extra options. And as you can see, we have tab autoplay. So if you enable this now, as you will see, it should normally display something here, but we don't have the right color. So first we need to select our color. So let's select our default blue. There you go. Now you can see the progress bar, and you can change the thickness as well. So let's go maybe up to 5. So there you go. As you can see, the progress bar is displaying properly just underneath. That's perfect. And now we need to give it a carousel ID. So let's call this one the plus add-ons. Okay, so whatever ID you want, obviously, you know. And now we can go ahead with our second section here. So let's go back to our widget. And this one is called carousel anything. There it is from the plus add-on. So drag and drop. And as you can see by the side of our content here, slide 1, slide 2, etc., etc. So let's open this one here, and you can see again, you can select a template or a shortcode, and there you go. This is the same principle as the menu that we created earlier on. So what we need to do is to create our 3 different templates that will display for each tab. So let's go ahead with this. So we go back here, Elementor templates, save templates. So this is similar to this one again. So let's create a new one. This one will be a container. Let's call this one carousel item 1. So let's create our template. It's going to open a new Elementor page. There you go. Now we can create our structure. Let's select this one here. And we're going to add an image. So this one again is creative image from the plus add-ons. There you go. Drag and drop. And now we can select the image we want to display. Okay, so let's select our image, insert image. And now we need to make sure that the image is centered. And as you can see, this doesn't change anything because we need to change the container itself. Okay, so we click on our section here. As you can see, this is a box, justify content. And now we need to select center. There you go. This is fully centered within the container. Now publish. And we're going to do the same with the other 3. Okay, so let's go back here, exit, and let's go ahead, save templates, and let's create the other 2. So there you go. We have our 3 different items now. So let's go back to our Elementor page, and now we can select the item itself. As you can see, carousel item 1, 2, 3. So let's select 1 for the first one, slide number 1. And what we can do again to save us time, we can just duplicate it. Okay, so let's do this together. Duplicate, duplicate. There you go. This one will be slide number 2, and we're going to select carousel item 2, and then slide number 3. And this time will be carousel item 3. So there you go. Now we have those items created. So next here underneath, you can see unique carousel ID. So now we're going to link this to this section here, to the tabs. You know, remember we use the plus add-ons as our ID. So we're going to do this as well. Now we're going to back to style here. And the first thing we need to do to take care of, obviously, here is to disable the autoplay. We don't need this. And we don't want to show the dots at the bottom. Okay, very good. So now normally if we have a preview, it should be working already. So there you go. As you can see, the first one is loading for the startup. It's going to load the second one, work in progress, and the slider is working by the side, and end section is loading the next one. Now if I go and click on work in progress, as you can see, we'll go back to this one. And if I click on startup, it will go to that image. If I click on end section, it goes straight to the third one. So this is working. Now all we need to do is to add a bit of breathing space on top and bottom. So let's click on our main container, advanced. Let's unlink this, and maybe on top we're going to add, let's try 100. Yeah, maybe 80. Let's try 80 instead. There you go. And the same at the bottom. So that's it. We're done for this section now. So let's go ahead to the next. Discover our next section here. So as you can see, heading, subheading, call to action button, a link. Here we have our scrolling feature and also an animated background here, as you can see. So these are 1 and 2 different containers, as you can see, and they go from left to right. So we're going to create the first one here on top together, and you can duplicate this to look exactly the same here at the bottom. Is the same principle. Okay, so let's go ahead with the first half here. So let's go here, let's create our section. So let's create this one with 2 columns. First, let's take care of our background color, style, background. Let's select our default black. So let's insert our heading and subheading. So there you go. So it looks something like this, you know, with a heading, title, and then here again, this is TP text blocks, and then you can stylize this as well. So let's continue on now. So let's add a container here underneath, where we're going to insert our button and our link. So basically this container now, make sure that you select the direction here, horizontal row, okay, just like this. And now we're going to add 2 different items here inside this container, okay. So the first one is called TP button. So it's a button again from the plus add-ons. So this is the one here, drag and drop. And as you can see here on top, you can select among 23 different options. So this one, it's a pre-made style, which is style number 10. Very good. Now let's change the title here. So let's type download app. Very good. So now we need the Apple logo here next to it. So we go to icon settings. We select font awesome 5, which is the next one up. And now we're going to click on this and we're going to look for Apple. Okay. Oops, sorry. There you go. Apple. So we'll select the Apple logo here. Insert. Very good. Now we need this to be before. So let's change the size of our icon. That's too small. So let's try maybe something like this, maybe 25. That's perfect. And then next we need to change the layout of obviously the style of our button here. So let's go to style. So first let's change the background color. So this is going to be gradient this time. So we need to add 2 colors. So let's select the first one. So a vivid green like this. And then the second one will be a lime yellow. So let's select this color here, maybe somewhere like this. That's perfect. Now, obviously, the gradient is not properly done here. As you can see, it goes from the left to the right. So we need to change the angle here. So instead of 180, now it's going to be 90. As you can see, now this is fine. And obviously, we need to add rounded edges as well. So we're going to remove the border style here. So no borders at all. But we're going to add a border radius of 50. Just like that. And as you can see now, we have a rounded button. And then again, as you can see, if we hover on our button, it's not doing anything. Whereas on our demo side, as you can see, it will go up a little bit. So let's enable that feature again. This is special. And as you can see, button hover effect. And this one is called float. Very good. So as you can see now, if you hover on top, it will go up and down slightly. And now let's add our second link here just next to it. So I'm just going to paste it. And I'm going to show you because this is basically the same TP button. If I click on this TP button, as you can see, the only difference between those two is the styling, obviously. You know, this one has a clear background and white font, whereas this one has a gradient background with black font. Now let's take care of our second section here. So as you can see, we have our dynamic device here and also the small background here, those painted dots here in the background. So let's take care of this. So the very first one, like we said, is called dynamic. Okay, as you can see, there it is, dynamic device, drag and drop. So this is item number 1. So let's take care of this first, and then we'll add our dynamic background afterwards. So as you can see, you can select among different devices, mobile phone, tablet, laptop, or desktop PC. So this one is a mobile phone. And which mobile phone is this? This is an iPhone X black. Okay, so let's select this one here. So as you can see, our phone is way too big at the moment. So we need to reduce the size, obviously the width, you know. So we go to style, close this here, device layout, and you can see adjust the width. So here we're going to put this at 50%. And now let's add a little bit of content in here that will slide basically. So we go back to content and you can see here media image. Click on this and now we can select our image. So this is the one here. So obviously you will have to design that beforehand. Make sure that it is 320 by whatever length you want. So ideally, roughly like 320 by 1300, because the width of that device is 320. So you need to respect that width and whatever length you want, obviously, So insert image. As you can see, this iPhone is 320 pixels by 672. So you might add 1 pixel just to make sure it's centered. Now, as you can see, our image is actually displaying the background, but it's not scrolling. It's actually crushed completely. It's taking the full height, okay? So now we need to go to Style. And as you can see, you have Device Background. And now we need to enable the Scroll Image feature. So click on this. And there you go. As you can see, if I hover on top now, it's displaying absolutely fine. Now you can change the speed of the transition as well. As you can see, it's set to 4. So it's not going to be too fast or too slow. Now, if you were to change the number here, maybe let's go 2.5. You will see the difference. There you go. Now it's much, much faster. Now we need to add a bit of breathing space on top and bottom. So let's click on our container again. We go to Advanced. Unlink here. So on top, let's add maybe 40 and 40 at the bottom. Perfect. And now we need to center this content here within its own container. So let's click on the main container itself. So from here, we're just going to select center, just like this. And now it looks perfect. And now the last thing we need to do is to add those painted dots in the background here. As you can see, they're moving up and down a little bit. So this is called a row background. So we go and get a widget again. So let's type row. There you go. So again, this is from the Plus add-on. So drag and drop this underneath this one in its own container. And now we can customize this section. As you can see, you have deep layer, middle layer, and top layer. So imagine this being in front of you. You can add as many layers as you want. So we're just going to set this up as a middle layer. But again, you can create as many layers as you want to add depth as well. So let's select the middle layer. And we're going to select the option. And this one is called Modern Image Effect. And then we can add our item. So let's click on this. Let's select our image. So there it is. These are our painted dots. Insert image. And now we can customize this basically. Okay, you can position this exactly where you want it. Again, we have 3 options: desktop, tablet, mobile. You'll have to do this for all the different devices, obviously. We're just going to use desktop for now, just to show you how it works. Okay, so now we can reposition this using left, top, and also change the width. So let's go have a quick look. Okay, so this is slightly bigger. So let's change the width first, maybe 266. And now we can position this behind our phone. Okay, so let's try perhaps here at 50. There you go. Now it's behind it. And now we can bring this up a little bit to be right on top. So instead of 20, let's try 10. There you go, that's perfect. And now we need to add the animation. So let's scroll down. We have image effect. And this one is called floating. And there you go. As you can see, now it's moving up and down slightly, which gives a very nice finishing touches. And now you can do the exact same with the second section here underneath. So let me create this very quickly. So there you go. As you can see, now we have an iMac here instead. So that's the only difference between the two. If you click on this, as you can see, now we selected the desktop, iMac minimal, and then we selected the ideal picture for this as well. Next, let's have a quick look. So we have that image here with all these hotspots. So this is mainly it. So let's take care of that now. Okay, so let's go back here, create our structure. So 2 columns here, as you can see, left and right. So let's go ahead with the first one here. So let's have a quick look. So the background color here, it's a beige yellowish color. So let's do this first. So we go to style, background 1 color. Let's select a color here. So this would be in the yellowish colors, maybe. There you go. Let's go with that. So let's add all the elements in this section first. So as always, we're going to go through those because these are just heading, and here, as you can see here, this is text block again. And then we can add our next section here. So this, we're going to add a container just underneath like this. And obviously we're going to add 2 different sections here, one on the left, one on the right. So again, the direction we're going to select here is horizontal. Okay, and let's add the first one. So this type of item is called style list. So let's go here and type list. There you go. And where is this one? There it is, style list from the Plus add-on. So let's drag and drop. So as you can see, we have an icon, a bit of text. So this is the very first one we need. So we're going to close this, delete this, sorry. And then we can take this one here. So the first one is called global payments. And now we need to change the color of our icon. So we go to Style, Icon, select the color. Let's select our black. So now let's add a bit of spacing in between our letters. You go to Content Options, Typography, scroll down, and this is letter spacing. So let's try 3 perhaps. No, that's too much. Maybe 2. There you go. That's perfect now. And now we can duplicate this to have 3 different items. Okay, so content, duplicate, duplicate again. And now we can change our content. But they're right on top of each other. As you can see, there's no breathing space in between them. Now we need to do this. So we go to Style, Space Between. So let's try maybe, let's go up to maybe 15. There you go. Let's have a quick look. That's very similar. Perfect. And now what we can do is basically just duplicate this one next to the other one. So duplicate and change the content. So there you go. As you can see, I've changed all the content here. Now it's exactly the same as our demo. And all we need to do is to add this button underneath now. So we click on this. And again, this is a button. And this one is from the plus add-on. So TP button. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy it here. So there it is. As you can see, this is style 1. This is our content. And obviously there is no other styling. It's a simple link for now. So next we have our hotspots. So for this, let's go back to our widget. And again, this one is simply called hotspot from the plus add-on. So this one here, drag and drop. Okay, so first we need to insert our background image. So this is the one here with the credit cards. There you go. And now we can add our different pins. So that's what they call, add multiple pin hotspots. So these are the hotspots they call pins, and we can add several of them. Okay, so as you can see, I have number 1 here, number 2, and so on. So as you can see, if you hover on number 1, you will say company name. Number 2, you will see NFC. So let's just take care of one of them. I'll show you how to do one, and then you can duplicate that, obviously, the process several times throughout the whole image here. Okay, so item number 1 here. So this is our first pin. Okay, so what type of pin is this? So let's select here. Is it an icon, an image, text, or Lottie file? So in our case, we're going to select text. There you go. As you can see, it's adding here the plus, but now we need a small number 1. That's all. So let's put 1. There you go. And now we need to add a background color. So let's add a red, maybe like this. Okay. And now we need to change the position. So as you can see, you can select left, right, and top. So this is closest to the right. So we can disable left, enable right instead. Okay, and now let's change the position. So let's start from here. So maybe 33 for this one. Yeah, okay, that's fine. And then from the top, let's try maybe 5%. There you go. So this is fine here. Very good. So now if you hover on top, as you can see, that bubble is showing up, the info bubble, but we can't read nothing. So first, let's insert our content here. So this one should say company name, but again, it's displaying on top. So now we go to style. There you go. And now we can select all the tooltip options. Okay, so let's click on this pencil. And there you go. So now the position, we want it to be on the right-hand side. There you go. Now this is fine. We want the background to be light. There you go. This is in white, as you can see, exactly the same way we have it here. And obviously this is too big. We can't read this. And for this, we're going to use this slider here. So let's try maybe 150. Let's have a quick look. Okay, so as you can see, the font is still too big. So we need to change the font size, obviously, So for this, we come out of this and we go back to content, and the typography is here. So select this, and now we can change the font. So let's try 18 maybe. Let's have a quick look. So this is perfect now. There you go. So next, let's take care of the background here. As you can see, by default, it's square with round edges. So let's change this. So we go to style. As you can see, you have all these different options. So what we need to change is the pin text here. So let's click on that, and let's add a border radius of 100. There you go. And as you can see, we have a circle. So there you go. This is basically how you can create an image and add some hotspot, those pins, with information relevant to your customers. And now you can do the same, obviously, with as many hotspots as you want on your image. So let me do this very quickly with the others. So there you go. As you can see, now we added 7 of them in total, and you can do the same with all of them. As you can see, this one says company name, this one expiry date, and so on and so on. So that's it. That's us done for this section now. So let's move on to the next. see what we have next. So we have 4 info boxes and a before and after that's going to reveal the credit card underneath. So as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3 sections here, 3 containers. This is probably how we're going to design it. And let's add our structure. So let's click on this. We're going to add 2 columns for now. There you go. And just duplicate one to have a third one. There you go. So now they're equally distributed. So let's start by adding our info boxes. So let's search for info. There you go again. This is from the plus add-ons. And let's drag and drop. Now, as you can see, initially, this is far from the finished product. And as you can see, in just a few steps, we're going to stylize this to look absolutely fantastic. Let's change our content here. And the first one is not called plus, but subscribe. Very good. And now let's select our style because the icon should be on top and then heading, subheading. Okay. And this would be style 3. Again, feel free to play around with this to discover them, you know, but that's basically how this one will be used. Now we're going to change the alignment to the left. So next, let's change our icon. It's already selected here. And this is going to be Font Awesome 5 again. So let's click on this and we're going to select YouTube for this one. There you go. So this is the one. Let's insert. Okay, and now let's stylize our item here. So let's go here to style and let's add our background color first. And from here, we're going to click on background color. We're going to select our black background as usual. And now we can stylize everything. So let's start from the top to bottom. So first we have a title. So the title color should be different colors. So let's try white. This is perfect. And let's add a bit of spacing on top and bottom. So perhaps 25 and 25. Very good. And let's change our font. So for this one, let's select Poppins, which is a very popular one. Very good. Let's change the size, maybe to 18. And let's make it a little bit thicker. Okay, so let's change the weight here to 500. And let's change the line height to maybe 1.3. There you go. So next we have our description style. So here we're just going to change the color. That's all basically, you know. So we can select an off-white maybe or grayish color like this. This is perfect. And then let's take care of our icon. So icon style. And let's add our background color. So let's select our default blue. Very good. Now we need to change the color of our font here. So let's select white. Perfect. And as you can see, we have a thin, very thin border as well. So we're going to remove the border or add a blue color instead. Okay, so let's select here blue. Very good. And we can leave it like this. Now this is fine. And now we need to add a bit of breathing space all around it. So for this, we go to extra options. And as you can see at the moment, we have 15. Let's try 50 instead. And there you go. Now we have our first one done. And now all we have to do is basically duplicate it. Very good. And now you can basically duplicate this section as well. So we might delete this one and then duplicate this one. And there you go. Now we have 4 sections like we had initially. And all we have to do now is just basically change the content. So there you go. Basically something like this. We have 4 info boxes. And one last thing, as you can see, if you hover on top, you have that float effect again. So how do you apply this? You go to style. And then extra options, and there it is, set basically box hover effect and select float. Okay, so that's us done with this part of this section. Next, we need to add the before and after image. So we go to our widget again. So let's type before. There you go, from the plus add-ons, drag and drop. And let's select our 2 images. So we have the before. So this is our before image. And then select the after, which is this one. Insert. So let's put this to the test. As you can see, this is already working fine. So from here, we're going to select the alignment to be centered, full width. And we're going to add a separator line. As you can see at the moment, there's none. So let's enable this. Where do you want to display it? In the middle, just like this, you know. So once it is there initially, it will be in the middle. And then you'll have to hover on top to see the finished product. And then you have the width of the separator line. So as you can see, by default, the color is black. But let me choose another color here just to show you what it does exactly. As you can see, if we select red, you have a vivid red here in the middle. Now, this is really up to you. You can choose any color you want, but we're going to keep it simple. We're just going to go with black as well, you know. So that's us done with this. The only thing we need to do is to place that image here in the middle. So let's click on our main container. So align item vertical, and then we're going to select center. And now one last thing we need to do is to add a bit of breathing space on top and bottom. So we click on our main container here, advanced, unlink, and then top we're going to add 80 and 80 at the bottom. So there you go. This one is perfect. So let's move on to the next section. Next, what do we have? We have a blog post here. So we're going to display the content for those blog posts using a custom loop style. And you can actually fetch any type of information. So this is basically fetched dynamically, and you can display any type of content here. So I could use, for instance, ACF, so advanced custom field, and then create your custom post type. But for this example here, we're going to use the blog post already on our website. So as you can see, with all the posts here, so these are our sample posts. So you need to have a bit of content on your website. And now we can insert these dynamically into our Elementor page. So let's go here. So let's create our section. So this one is going to be from left to right. And now we can insert our dynamic content. So let's go back to our widget. So it's called dynamic listing. Again, from the plus add-on, drag and drop. There you go. And now we can select which type of content we want to display. So as you can see, you can select among all these different options. Again, you can have ACF as well, you know, custom queries. So for us, it is going to be archive pages. We're going to select our blog post. We're going to select a style, and this style is going to be custom skin. So we're going to design it ourselves, okay? And obviously now, before we can select the template, we have to create it. So now we can click update, and let's go back to our WordPress dashboard. So this time to create our template, same procedure. We go to template, save template under Elementor here, and create a new one. So this is going to be a section, and let's call this custom loop style, okay? So let's create. Very good. So as always, Elementor is going to offer us a few different options. We can close this window altogether. So all we need to do now is to design for one blog post exactly the way we want it. Okay. So let's have a quick look. So we have an image here. We have the date, a title, and a short description and a button as well. So that's basically it. So let's reproduce this. So let's go here, create one. This one is going to go downwards. Very good. And let's start with the first one. So the first one is going to be an image. Again, we take the image from the plus add-on, so creative image. Let's add it here. And now let's select our image. So this image will be fetched dynamically. So all of this is dynamic content for this template. Okay, so as you can see, you have the dynamic tags, and it's part of the post featured image. Now, while you design, it's probably better to have a quick preview of what's happening. And also you can click on the settings here. We have preview settings, and you can select one of the blog posts. Okay, so let's click on post, single one. Let's select one. So I think there's one that starts with the word apply. So there you go. As you can see, our image has been added. Now we need to add the title. So let's grab a heading. Again, this is dynamic. So let's click on this post, and this is the title. Very good. Now we can change the styling as well. So let's change the color. Let's select our black again. So let's have a quick look. So the font should be a bit thinner than this. So I'm going to select something thinner, maybe 400. There you go. And underneath, we're going to add our short excerpt and then the button that's going to link to that article. So let's do this. So let's click on this. We're going to add a container this time, just underneath. Very good. We're going to select the direction to be horizontal. And now we can add our description. So the description will be text. And now we can delete that content because we're going to fetch that dynamically again. So let's click on this. And this time is going to be post excerpt. There you go. As you can see, it's displaying fine. And since we have to fit the button here by the side, let's make sure that the width of this item is maximum 80%. So let's put 80%. And that's going to leave us 20% here by the side to add our button. So let's add our button now. So this one is called TP button again. So let's drag and drop it just next to it there. Very good. So now we have our button, and now we can customize it to look exactly like this one. So rounded shape with an arrow. So let's go here. So the link again will be fetched dynamically. So let's click on this and add that now. So this will go to the post URL. For the style, we're going to select style 10. And now we're going to change this, and we're going to remove the text altogether because we don't need it, because all we need is just the icon. So we're just going to change the icon here. Font awesome, awesome 5. Let's select this, and this is right. And let's select our arrow, this one, insert. And instead of this being a rectangle, let's change this to be a circle. So we go to style, border radius. So let's add 50. But as you can see now, it's not exactly round. It's because you have those padding here. So they should all be 15 basically. So we can change this. There you go. Nice circle now. Okay. And then now just need to change the background color. As you can see, it's red at the moment. So hover mode. Let's add a color, and we're going to select white. And there it is. So this is perfect now. And now we need to add the date. So let's add the date here, and the date might be here at the bottom or on top, whichever, you know. So we can just grab perhaps a heading here. Let's put it there. Again, dynamic content, post date. Very good. Now we're going to stylize this. So we're going to go here. So we're going to put a background color. So this is in advanced background. Let's put white. Very good. We're going to add a bit of padding all around it. So let's say perhaps 20. And now let's customize the width. Custom. So let's say maybe 20%. This is fine. Now let's change the position. We want it to be here. So let's remove position. I'm going to put absolute. And then we can change this slightly, okay? So we're going to move this around. So let's offset this from the top, maybe like this, and maybe like that. So this is fine. Now we have the date, and let's go into style, and let's change the font color here. We're going to select our black color here, and change the typography. So we're going to change the font size, maybe a little bit smaller, perhaps around 23. There you go. And now we can update our template. So that's just done now. So now we can update our template, and now this is saved. We can go back to our Elementor page and let's select our template. So there it is. So custom loop style. And there you go. As you can see, it's displaying our different posts here, and we can change the columns obviously. No, so if you go to column manage here, what we want basically is 1, 2, 3 of them only. Okay. So we can select this for desktop, tablet, and mobile. So we go on desktop mode here, 3 columns. There you go. And as you can see, in total, we have 6 of them, sorry. So we can reduce the amount as well and set it to 3, maybe here, just only 3. There you go. Now we have only 3 of them displaying at a time. There you go. And all we need now is just to add our heading here on top. So we grab the heading. There you go. Drag and drop. So let's change this to say our latest blog. We can center this. Let's add a bit of padding on top and on bottom. So maybe 50 on top and maybe 20 at the bottom. Let's change the font color, style, font color. Let's select our black and let's make it slightly bigger. So we're going to select the font size and roughly this size. There you go. Now that's perfect. So we're done with this section. So let's go to the next. Let's have a quick look. So what do we have? We have customer feedback. So these are all Google reviews. So I'm going to show you how you can fetch this dynamically again. So let's add a section. This one will be pointing down. That's perfect. Now, as you can see, this is displaying on top of our blog post. So we're going to advanced now, unlink, and we're going to add a bit of margin on top. So let's try maybe 500. Okay, let's keep it like this for now. We can always tweak this around anyways. So let's add our widget now. So this one is called social reviews. Again, from the plus add-ons. There it is. So drag and drop. Okay, immediately here, as you can see, we have an error message. This is coming from Facebook because we have this social review item here. So we can click on this. Basically, what we need now is Google and not Facebook, obviously, you know. And we need to add an access token key and a place ID, etc., etc. So for this, we're not going to go through all the setup here. We can follow the video in the description below for the full description. But I'm just going to add here our own token, which will fetch the information. And then I'm going to show you how you can tweak things around. And there you go. Once those keys are inserted, you actually have some content displaying here. So let's tweak this around. So obviously we want the reviews. Which style do you want? We're going to style 2 for now. We're going to select layout 1 and then a grid form as well, which looks absolutely professional already. So let's compare this to the original here. So that's very similar. And now all we have to do is just to tweak things around in the styling feature here. But first, you may have noticed that we have 4 columns here. We only need 3. So let's reduce this. Column manage. Again, desktop, select 3. So there you go. As you can see, that's a lot better immediately. And now we can stylize the content. So let's go to style. So the only thing we need to tweak maybe here, as you can see, is maybe the font here from the review itself, you know, that's slightly bigger. So let's go ahead with this. So as you can see, we can close that and we have all these different options. So this is Google review. So click on Google. And now we can change everything. So you have the username, the message, the post on text and time typography. So this is all related to font. So we can change the username, for instance. This is the name itself. So we're going to change this, make it a little bigger. Maybe not too big, but maybe just about there. And not too thick, maybe 300. No, that's too thin, maybe 400. There you go. This is perfect. And then we can do the same with the description itself, okay? So message typography, there you go. And we're going to change the size. Okay, not too big, you know, and the thickness again, a little bit less. There you go. That's perfect now. So that's basically it for this section. So we can click update. our last section here, which is our footer section. So as you can see, we probably have one container here on top and then one at the bottom. So this one, two different areas, and this one, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's go ahead with this. So let's create our structure. So we'll have a main container. Very good. So we go back to our elements. So we add one container and then a second one. That's basically it. So in the first one here, we're going to have our heading and the social icons. And here we'll have our different menus and the logo as well. So first, let's add our background color. So style, background, let's select our black. Very good. And now we can start adding the different elements. So this one will be a heading and social icons. So we'll add those two. So there you go. I'm going to save us a bit of time. As you can see, this is just a heading. Very easy. You know how to use that. And these are social icons. And for these, you can basically add as many as you want. And as you can see, you can select Facebook or Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, whichever you want, and add them up. Okay. Now, as you can see, they're stacked up on top of each other. So let's click on our main container. We change the direction to horizontal. Very good. Justify content space between. And now, as you can see, this is slightly more on top than this one. So we're going to align the item, center them. There you go. So this is as done for the first section here. And now for the bottom section, let's have a quick look. As you can see, this one is aligned this way. So 1, 2 up from top to bottom, and the same for all these items. So what we're going to do, we're just going to add 4 different containers. It's going to make our life much easier. So we go back here, we add container, drag and drop, and then we can duplicate this. Okay, so let's do this 3 more times. Very good. And as you can see, again, they're stacked up. So we're going to change the direction. Very good. And now we can start adding our different elements. So the first one is our logo on top. So again, we're going to use the site logo from the plus add-ons, add it here. And now let's select our image. So let's have a quick look. So there it is, insert media. So that's our logo sorted. Underneath, we have the Mailchimp feature. So let's go here and let's look for Mailchimp. Again, this is from the plus add-on. So drag and drop. And now we can start customizing this. So we go to the email field. We're going to change this. So instead of enter email address, we'll have email address. We don't need the small envelope. So let's remove the icon altogether. Now the subscribe button should be changed. So we're going to change this. So it says normally get started. Very good. And now we can tweak this around. So now we get to style. We go to field styling. So we're going to add a bit of padding here. So unlink. So we're going to put 15 on top, 15 at the bottom, and 15 to the left. There you go. And now we can change the color as well. So the background color, let's select a dark blue something. So let's go here, maybe like that. Very good. And now we're going to add a bit of transparency as well. So we go here, I'm going to select this color here. So basically you go full in the corner here and select a middle range here slightly, okay? And as you can see, it pops out a little bit more. So it's a nice little trick here as well, you know? And now let's make sure that our font is displaying properly. So we go to typography. We're going to select, let's go with Poppins, very popular one again, you know? The size, let's try 15. Okay, so that's too big. So let's make it a bit smaller. There you go. Now it fits in perfect. And the weight, let's go maybe with 500, and that should be fine. And now let's tweak our get started button. So this one is the subscribe button. Let's add a background color. Let's select our default blue. And as you can see now, it is perfect. Now let me show you very quickly how you can connect your Mailchimp form to your actual account. So for this, we go back to the WordPress dashboard, the plus settings, extra options, scroll down the page, and there it is. Now you have the Mailchimp API key, copy and paste it from your account. And here you have the Mailchimp list ID as well. So you can select that. Once you have those 2 fields filled out, you can click save, and that's you sorted basically. Okay, so let's recreate our links here. So first we have a heading. So this is a pretty straightforward one, you know. So this is just a heading, and you can stylize that the way you want. And now we're going to add a list, a style list as well. So let's add this next to it. So now as you can see, they're next to each other. That's not how it's supposed to be. So let's click on the container. And again, we need to select the direction. So this is going downwards basically, okay? And then we can do the same with all the others. Let's select the same option. And again here, just to make sure we don't forget. And now let's go back to our elements. So basically this one here of element 1, 2, 3. So let's change the titles very quickly. So the first one is digital branding, and we don't want any icon at all. So we're just going to remove the icon altogether. Okay, so there it is, remove it. And we do the same with the other two. Now let's go and change the font color. So we go to style. So this is content options. So let's change the color. So let's select white and the same on text hover. There you go. Very good. And now I'm going to show you something absolutely amazing that's unique to the Plus add-ons. So we're going to go to extra options. On hover inverse effect. So if I enable this now, if I hover on top, as you can see, it will automatically highlight the one I'm hovering on top, and you can change the opacity as well. So if I go down to 0.3, for instance, as you can see, the one that's at the front is in full white, and then the other ones are a bit in the shadow effect in the background. So this is absolutely amazing. And along with this effect, let me show you something amazing as well. You can actually link different sections together and have the same effect throughout. So now let me recreate the other sections very quickly. So there you go. As you can see now, they're all imported. And if I hover on top of any of them, we'll have that inverse effect. But now we would like to apply this to all those 3 sections all at once. And as you can see, effect area, it says individual. Now we select global and let's give it a connection ID. So let's call this, for instance, the Plus add-ons. So we do that with the first one here. Now we click on the second one. We go to extra option. We select global. We put the same ID, and the same thing with the third one here, style, extra options, global, the Plus add-ons. And now let's put this to the test. So let's hover on top of one here. So as you can see, it will have that inverse effect, but not just on that section, but those 3 all together. So this is again, amazing feature, isn't it? So the only thing left now is to add a bit of padding on top and bottom. So we select our main container, advanced, unlink, and let's try perhaps 80. And 80 at the bottom. And that's basically it. So there you go, guys. We're all done already. Very good. So now if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with all of your friends and Facebook community so that more people can learn about Elementor.